Hey guys, I'm just bringing you another video here, Feeding Frenzy 91, and it's Warframe again, but once again we're talking about just the consoles. Let's just talk about the consoles where they are. Everybody's going about next gen, right? But nobody's really talking about current gen, so I want to take this time to talk about some current gen. And also, I'm gonna really talk about the topic, should Nintendo go software only? Now, Sega, as we all know, went software only, but that was different. People need to remember that the Sega Genesis was the really only super successful Sega. I don't know how well the portable Sega did, but I know that the Saturn wasn't too good. Neither was the CD, and we all know what happened to the Dreamcast. So really, when Sega got to the Dreamcast, it was a last-ditch effort to make a successful console. So Nintendo is not in that situation right now. Nintendo is in a situation where they've made really successful consoles in the past, not counting the GameCube. The N64 and the Wii were probably the most successful. The GameCube wasn't bad, but it wasn't super successful. So they made really successful consoles in the past, and this one is more like just a bump in the road at this point. Right now, we don't know whether there's going to be a bump in the long run, but we know it's a bump right now. Now let's just look at the VG charts to see how things are doing right now. Now, as you would expect, I'm not going to talk about the next gen, just current gen right now. As you would expect, Nintendo with the Wii is pretty down there, right? So in third place for weekly sales, these are how much these consoles move a week, and these are just new. These aren't even used, and I know a lot of them use sale at GameStop. So just imagine. Number 3 is Xbox 360 with over 92,000 sales a week. Number 2 is PS3 with over 135,000 sales a week. Now that's kind of a jump, honestly. And number 1 is actually a Nintendo owned console, which is the 3DS at over 180,000 sales a week, mind you. And that's a week, not a month. So this thing is selling over 500,000 in a month if this keeps up at least. So you got to really think about it. Nintendo should not go software only. They're making a killer with the 3DS. Even though the Wii U, and I'm not really talking about next-gen consoles, but I'm just saying even though they're kind of struggling right now, in a sense, right now the 3DS is killing. People seem to forget that Nintendo not only owns the regular consoles, they also own the handhelds. And they dominate in the handhelds. PSP, PS Vita, I mean, the original DS sold over 160 million units. That's just complete and utter domination. That's like what the PS2 did with the other consoles. So, really, it's just Nintendo has cash reserves out the wazoo right now. They do not need to even be successful, or at least not, super successful this console generation. Even if they can survive probably another 2 failed consoles. I'm not going to say that they should, and I don't think they should. But really, I don't think Nintendo's in a position where they really have to go software. Now let's talk about the current gen in general. Right now the current gen is really going strong. I mean, we're entering the end of a generation, and the PS3 and Xbox are still selling. PS3 selling over 100,000 a week. Xbox is selling close to 100,000 a week, and that's really, I think, rare. Because I remember when next consoles come out, the old ones tend to just disappear in sales, except for people like my cousin who waits for next consoles to come out so he could buy the old ones when they're dead cheap. But I gotta say, these old consoles are really selling well. And also, when you look at the top 10 global game sellers, 3DS, which we know right now is being popular, it owns about 5 of the positions. It owns number 3, number 5, number 7, number 9, and number 10. 4 of the positions go to Sony, which is number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 6. That's across the PSP, PS Vita, and PlayStation 3. Then there's the big old 1 from Microsoft. And it's kind of sad that Microsoft 1 only has 1 game on the top 10 position, right? But what's even sadder is that game is Minecraft. I mean, I would have thought maybe any game published by Microsoft. Come on, you got to give me maybe a Halo, maybe a Gears of War Judgment, maybe anything. And I'm thinking to myself, Minecraft? Minecraft has been out for a bit now, and it's still selling more than the Microsoft published games, weekly at least, at this point. Now, I'm not saying Microsoft is bad, but I'm saying it does seem like Xbox is, when it comes to not hardware, but software sales at this moment, even though Xbox 360 actually currently is the leader for software sales. So I guess right now it's just experiencing a kind of drift away maybe. But once again, these consoles are fine. These consoles are doing greater than I think most of their predecessors. I mean, this console generation in general is just it was so close. The Wii had about 99.7 million sales. Xbox had 77.8, and the PS3 had 78.1 million. So you got to just think this generation is just huge compared to the previous generations before it, where like it was really also very close, which I loved. So I would love for the next generation to be also as close as this. I would love the winner to not win by much, because I mean these three consoles. I want them all to succeed. I hope nothing bad on any. I'm not like a fanboy who just wants my console to dominate. I'd prefer if all of them did perfectly well. But just saying, Nintendo does not need to go software only at this point, because they are making a killer with the 3DS. Even if their other systems aren't doing that as well, they're killing with the 3DS. Killing, not just doing slightly better. They're killing. Also, Xbox, I really think Xbox will be successful. They dropped their DRM, which shows that they are willing to admit when they're wrong. So I really think the next generation will be successful. Once again, about this generation, Xbox is pretty successful. They came third in the console war, yes, but they came first, I believe, in the software war. They sold the most software. And PS3, or PlayStation in general, ain't going nowhere. Sony, I think, is going to stay. Sony definitely is in the heart of so many gamers right now. So I think all three big companies are just really good right now. They're just really good. We will see what happens next generation. For this generation, kudos to all three companies. They deserve a round of applause for all finishing with really high numbers in software, hardware, everything. Kudos to all three companies. Alright, so this is Feeding Frenzy 91. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and God bless.